It's a beautiful afternoon, and I must say that from dazzling agbadas to gallant horse parades, OJUDE 2025 is a capturing one for the world's attention. But beyond the glamour lies the deeper story of legacy, culture, and evolving relevance. Again, I welcome you to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, your executive producer, your script writer, name it, your host. I wear many caps on this platform, like I say. I think it's important for us to hear what On This Day Industry segment has for us. When I return, I give my 2 cents on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. My takeaway from On This Day Industry segment today is just an advancement like biometric verification and digital voter card system that reflects the ongoing evolution of that legacy. You know, strengthening that electoral transparency remains key to sustaining the democracy, you know, bettered in that, you know, pivotal moment. I think that's all I can take away from this On This Day Industry segment today. I think it's time for us to go on a quick message, get a message from my sponsors, those who have put me on this platform. When I return, we'll dive straight to the topic at hand. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, held annually in the historical city of Ijebu-Ode, OJUDE Oba Festival is more than just a celebration of fashion and horses. It's a wild, or will I say, a vivid reminder of communal pride, heritage, and intergenerational unity. But as OJUDE Oba 2025 marks headlines for its viral fashion moment, massive crowds, and growing commercial influence, I'm asking the deeper question: what is the true soul of this festival? Is this growing? Is it growing its popularity, a sustainable one, and how can it evolve while preserving its cultural essence? Joining me today is no stranger to culture, governance, and development. A proud son of the soil, a thought leader, a statesman. Together we would have real talk around the social, economic, and political dimension of OJUDE Oba and its place in Nigeria's cultural diplomacy. Before I delve into real talk with my guests, I think it's important for us to play his profile. When I return, you agree with me that it's the right fit to throw light on the issue, and stay with me. I'll be right back. many thanks for staying with us. Let me quickly use this opportunity to usher in my guest, Otuba Bimbo Ashiru. It's a pleasure to have you on Real Talk with Kike today. I'm glad to have a son of the soil, a proud Omo Ijebu, on the live show today to discuss the OJUDE Oba Festival. How are you doing today, sir?
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me, my sister, on this program. Yeah, you are right. I'm truly a proud son of Ijebuland. Not only a proud son, I'm an Otumba of OJUDE of Ijebuland.
Absolutely.
I was installed Otumba in December 2006. So I think I'm in the best position to talk about OJUDE Oba.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the reason why, you know, I brought you here for you to throw a lot of light on it. And diving straight to the issue at hand, you know, you were former commissioner for commerce and industry in Ogun State for 7 years as well. From an economic perspective, the OJUDE Oba Festival reportedly, you know, generates over 500 million naira in economic activities annually. Can you help us break down how this revenue is being distributed among local businesses, hospitality, SMEs? What strategies are in place, you know, to increase this figure in the next 5 years?
Yes, let me even start with this. I grew up, almost over 60 years now to see how OJUDE Oba is evolving. And I'll give you a good example. You can imagine 2 weeks before OJUDE Oba, all the hotels in Ijebu are fully booked. Even within the towns around Ijebu. Not only that, our mothers that are selling clothes, food sellers, meat sellers, all these MSMEs, they make a lot of money. Then our tailors, the tailors that are doing these clothes, especially the ones that are doing men outfits. You can imagine for an outfit, one single outfit, it will cost you almost 150,000 naira to do that typical Ijebu, they call it elebo and everything, all those handmade things. So you can imagine that they look forward to OJUDE Oba every year. And OJUDE Oba has is evolved beyond Ijebu now. It's even an Ogun State thing because Ogun State government is involved. The Ogun State governor is the host. You could see the last one I was there on Sunday, how the governor rode in the caravan, at the back of the horse, like the way they do the royal family in England. So OJUDE Oba is more like the Notting Hill carnival that has evolved. If you remember, during the last Monday in August in England, where they have the carnival, you can see Notting Hill Gate, the whole place is blocked. The police are fully equipped, they are fully, and the same thing in Ijebu now. During the OJUDE Oba is third day after the Ileya festival. But I want to let you know that OJUDE Oba now is not only meant for Muslims, it's meant for Christians, Orthodox, all sorts of people. And it's meant for all the Ijebus in diaspora. I remember it used to be in front of the Kabezi's palace, in the palace. Then it evolved, and where we are having it now was just built less than 15 years ago. It used to be PWD, Public Works area. So you can imagine, and it's very close to Etitale. You can imagine the commerce that is going on around that area. I can tell you, within 2 weeks of OJUDE Oba, before OJUDE Oba, 2 weeks before OJUDE Oba, you will see the activity in the Ijebu, businesses coming up, all our tailors, our merchants, MSMEs. So it has, I think it's an understatement by saying 500 million. It's in billions. It's in billions. I can tell you that. And it has created, I was watching one of the BBC News this morning, in England. It shows that OJUDE Oba now is an international phenomenon. So everybody all over the world, I know I have cousins that they only come to Nigeria from England and America during the layers. They will tell you, oh, I'm coming next year. They hardly come for Christmas. But OJUDE Oba is something everybody look forward to. And you see the regulars. And luckily, Kabiyesi Awujale has now created, make it more dynamic. In the last 40 years, we have about 100 male and female regulars in Ijebuland. The most senior regular is Mafoku, which is Awujale's age grade. Because the age grade in the regular is 3 years. 1962, for example, to 1964 is the same age grade, 3 years age grade. They call them the same age group. So you can see how much it will cost some people to have and they have uniforms. I mean, the people doing Ashoke and everybody, they are bringing in their wealth of experience. They are bringing their own wealth and designs, caps. You could see sunglasses, different things. I mean, shoes. Some people were wearing carved shoes. The same. They are done by people in Ijebu, within Ijebu. I wear the outfit I wore on that day. It was done for me from Ijebu, and to sew it alone, not the materials. To sew the outfit is about 150,000 naira, and you can see regulars. The members of each regular might be about 100, might be 200, and you can see all of them, the uniform. So I can tell you what they are going to wear next year. They will start, giving out the contract now. So it creates job, and people look forward to it. So it has gone beyond Ijebu now, Ijebuland. It's now a Nigerian thing. It's a part of Nigeria. And even our brothers in Egbaland, they are now copying us. They did their own, I think, a few months ago. Because it brings in people. It unifies people. They all come in to pay homage to our traditional referred father, His Royal Majesty Yaujal of Jebuland, GCFR, so that KBC will now, they come in, you pray for them. And not only that, they give them money. The state government put envelopes and give them gifts, all the regulars. Then after the regulars must have done their own bit, you can imagine, we used to finish OJUDE around 3, 4 o'clock, but now it goes on up to about 7 p.m. because they are growing. They are going. I even believe that where we are using now is even too small. But it's right across the KBC's palace. People were suggesting that we should start using the stadium. And I can tell you that the stadium will not be enough. So they have the committees, and every year we bring in suggestions to the members of the committees of OJUDE, which is headed by Chief Okubejo. So, and then Professor Fasu Yuzu is the coordinator. So you can now see that over time, people are now, it's growing. It's something that is growing. So what we need to do now is to keep on making the best out of it. And I think last year was my bro, Farouk Oragba was the man, OJUDE symbol. But this year, funny enough, is the governor himself, the host, that is the sneeze man of the year for OJUDE 2025. So, and it was actually, they did something, they said, the focus of OJUDE, the theme for this year is celebrating our roots, preserving our future. So that means our heritage, we want to preserve it. We want our children's children to come and witness this. People have been calling me that next year they want to come, I should host them, they want to see how this is done. So it's a traditional thing that will go places. But I can tell you that next year OJUDE will be better than this year. Every year comes bigger, better, and that's what we're focusing on.
All right, many thanks for that elaborate submission. I like the fact that you mentioned earlier that Ogun State government is involved. We saw all the clips online, as well as Anato Minister Anato Musawa as well.
Minister for Culture.
Yeah, for art and culture. Yes, and tourism. Yes. Absolutely. So, with major sponsors like Nigerian breweries, shout out to Nigerian breweries, our sponsors on this platform, and all of that, the likes of Globacom, who have been sponsoring the event for a while, and Access Bank partnering with the festival. How much investment has been secured, in the last 3 years, and what tangible return on investment have these brands, seen from their own participation? And the reason why I'm asking you this question, because earlier when you were giving your submission, you mentioned so many things, which is actually leading me to the next question of UNESCO. UNESCO that recently recognized, similar Yoruba festivals like Osogbo for cultural heritage, and reports describing the 2025 edition as chaotic due to crowd mismanagement, road challenges, and insufficiency when it comes to hospitality services. I would like you to open up more on this critical conversation on planning. Earlier, you were talking about security, comparing Notting Hill Carnival to our own environs here, and how we can sustain the growth. What do you have to say to this?
Well, first of all, let me tell you, there are few sponsors, but one of the major sponsors is Globe. They've been sponsoring for the past 20 years. Then FCMB2, Nigerian Breweries, and other companies are now joining because they could see the leverage. I'm a banker, I understand. For you to sponsor a thing like this, you must get return on it because nobody is Father Christmas. But having said that, for example, an average Ijebu, you can hardly find an Ijebu man who doesn't have a Glow phone number. You can hardly find an Ijebu man because it's their own pride. Because Glow is being owned by an Ijebu person, proudly Ijebu person. I mean, they call him the spirit of Africa and the pride of the world. But having said that, you asked a good question. You said, what is going to be the return on investment? I can tell you, people are smiling to the bank. Funds are being spent. People are bringing in a lot of funds. But the point is that we don't want it to be only during OJUDE. We want it to be sustained. Sustainability, that apart from OJUDE, once these investments are coming in, it will identify so many things. Industries are coming into, and you could see, I remember I was the Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, and I knew about 375 industries were opened during our time. And you could see along the express now, but the most important thing is that there is need to improve on the infrastructure. Let's say the one that's been done by the federal government. And I noticed Shagamu to Ijebu, they need to do that. They need to do that infrastructure. And I'm happy the Ogun State government, they are doing all the roads in Ijebu. They just commissioned few ones just before the Ilea Festival. So it's very important because if the security is not there, the infrastructure is not there, then there's a problem. So I agree with you, and I understand what you're saying, that there is need for government to be conscious of improving the infrastructure around Ijebu and environment, because that will be the benefit of people coming in. And when you come for OJUDE, it must be seamless. I can tell you, I remember those days, you can drive in to the front of Palace, but now you cannot even drive in to Oyinbo. You have to stop, you have to identify yourself. Then now, we start giving interior cars for people to be able to have access to the pavilion where people can watch those things. So I understand, a lot of investment has actually come in, and it's actually created the kind of awareness, which is very key. So the point is that for a festival like this, I believe that it must be a continuous thing whereby investment should be coming into the town, and not only town, to Ogun State. You heard what the minister said. And I can tell you, every year we identify prominent Nigerians. I remember the former President Obasanjo has been a special guest, former President Atiku, even our present president, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, was a guest of honor too. Last year, it was one prominent Ijebu son. So we bring in different people to be special guests. So, and the former governor of Bayelsa, who happens to be our cousin from Ijebu too, has been, so it's bringing that awareness, and people will, it's an opportunity for people to identify, oh, there's opportunity for businesses here. The Gari Ijebu, which is a very prominent thing for the Ijebus, they are looking, and not only that, the Ijebus, last week Tuesday, I was a keynote speaker at the Ijebus Boys Economic Forum, whereby I spoke with them about the various opportunities where Ijebus have competitive advantage over other areas, and they can take advantage of that. Use that one to bring in industries and everything. And I told them too that limestone from Oniyoro to Benin passing through Ijebu, then deep sea port, which is there, the bitumen. So I agree with you that there are so many things that there are opportunities for people. It is through OJUDE and through other things that you can see. So we need to let people know, apart from the OJUDE Festival, the opportunities that are available for investors who can come. I saw so many white people there that were asking questions. They want to be there. And we must create that environment whereby people can stay. More hotels will be open in Ijebu. But the important is that the service delivery must be very, must be good. It must be second to none. It's very important. We must look at that area. And I totally agree with you that after OJUDE, what's next? Is it going to be just OJUDE? No. We must be able to sustain and keep the thing going by establishing business and creating jobs for our teeming young ones that are unemployed. I totally agree with that. And that is what we are suggesting to the members of the committee. And we too, Council of Otumba, Council of Chiefs, where we have members of the committee, where we have members who are members of the committees. And we will look at that and ensure that things like that are done.
Earlier, when you were talking, many thanks for that elaborate submission right there. But there was one key thing that caught my attention, which is creating awareness. Is there a formal plan to secure this UNESCO status for OJUDE Oba, and how does this festival balance modernization through social media buzz, and of course with all that is going on right now? I felt that if you are going to be talking about creating awareness, there's a way that we must create this social media buzz through preserving cultures and traditions. What do you have to say to this?
Let me tell you something that will shock you. For the first time in the history of OJUDE Oba, which have been, Farouk Oreagba became the OJUDE Oba man of the year for last year, and they named him Mr. Sis, which he was given an award. He had actually been invited to Onitsha and other towns, even in the north, as the ambassador of Ijebu. So creating an awareness is there. But what we need to do is that we need to do more than that. Now, this year, I just read it too, that the Mr. Sis for OJUDE Oba this year, 2025, is the governor of Ogun State. So what I'm saying basically is that when I was driving down on that day, on Sunday, people were calling me, oh, are you going for OJUDE Oba? Yes, we are looking. And when I was walking in, I saw the media, the social media guys, everybody standing with Farouk. He was on the horse when he was wearing his brown outfit. He wanted to join the governor to enter in the governor's entrance before he went back up to go and change. So what I'm saying is that it has created that awareness that, and I think UNESCO too, I think they are aware of it. And when I was listening to BBC today, the way they showed it, this is another economic value. It has created, art and culture and everything. So those things are there. But the point is that we need to be able to sustain it beyond what it is now. And that is what I'm talking about, which I agree about. I agree with you in totality that UNESCO thing, we must take it to the next level, whereby OJUDE Oba will be known worldwide. So when they talk about OJUDE Oba, it's like a brand, it's a patent for the Ijebu. So, in Ogun State, Ijebu, Ijebu in Ogun State, in Nigeria. I believe that is the next level we must go to, and that's what we are working on now.
Many thanks for that submission right there. But with all that you have said thus far, let me ask you this question before I go on a quick break, because there's a recent study by the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, that's the NTDC, that estimated that cultural festivals contribute over 150 billion annually to the Nigerian economy. So I agree with you with my first question when you said, it's over 500 billion, it's almost billions. How significant is OJUDE Oba's contribution now to local commerce and Ogun State GDP now, to be precise? And what institutional support is needed to deepen its economic impact beyond this festive week? And the reason why I'm talking about the impact is because I believe that there must be collaboration with other states. I like the fact that you emphasized earlier that it's not a religion-based thing, it's not open to just one culture or one religion and all of that. I'd like you to throw light on this quickly before I go on a break.
Yes, the quick one that which you are saying is that I know now, I remember when I was in government, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, they are now working, they are the ones that now handle the state government aspect. And Ogun State government contributes a lot to that. Then having said that, I could see that with OJUDE Oba, it has created some of these economic values to the Jebus. Like I mentioned, the trade, the assistance. And now, there was an MOU signed between the governor, the Ogun State government, and the Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment. If you go into the social media now, or the governor's Instagram or his Facebook, you will see where they have signed an MOU, having an understanding on how they can collaborate with this, which is very key. So because I remember the minister was sitting down right behind me, and I remember I see the way she dressed and what she was saying. So what I'm saying is that the awareness is there, the collaboration is there, but I think we can still move it to the next level by signing with the world. I mean, United, even there's nothing wrong in presenting OJUDE Oba at the next UN. That this is a cultural festival that is known. It's been attended by over 1 million people. So we can create that awareness and work on that. And this is now job for the state government, for committee members, and for we, true sons and daughters of Ijebu, to ensure that this thing goes to the next level. Because I can tell you, everybody all over the world, people from London, America, Australia, Germany, Europe. So it clearly shows, I understand what I said, that we can take it to the next level whereby, like you mentioned, the Oshogo Festival. And if our own ambassador, 2024, was invited to Anambra and to Nicha, I remember it was one of their festival, Afilaka, I can't remember what name they called the festival, and it was remanded to the north. I saw some of the clips because it's my cousin. So what I'm saying basically is that identifying somebody, so everybody, we want to outshine everyone. I mean, for example, Farouk is not more the man the Ojudoba face for 2025. It's now the governor. Somebody to next year will say, no, I want to outshine this, I want to become the. So it's now become a competition and stiff one whereby people will now start showing, because it has created more awareness, because last year went through the social media to beyond our expectation. Millions of people all over the world watched it, and they know that there's something Ojudoba is like Doba in the north. But now Ojudoba is now, I mean, this year it was so tough that people to get in, because everybody wants to have a glimpse of the show. So that awareness is there. But creating economic value for it, creating jobs for it, which is very important, like you rightly mentioned, is something that we need to look into and we should be working on.
Many thanks for that elaborate submission. We'll go on a quick break now to get a word from my sponsors. When I return, the conversation will continue. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, glad to know you're still right there with us. In case you just joined today's show, today's conversation is about exploring the power, pride, and possibility behind one of Nigeria's, grandest cultural festival, OJUDE Oba 2025. And my guest and I have been dissecting the roots and, of course, the relevance of this vibrant event. We've talked about the economic significance, the breathtaking, regbe displays, and the global buzz, created by prominent figures, dignitaries and Nigerian celebrities as well. Now, I will be shifting gears a bit and examine the infrastructure and policy dimensions. What are the gaps? What is being done? How do we truly, future-proof, OJUDE Oba for international recognition and national impact? Again, I want to say many thanks to Otuba Bimbo Ashiru for all that you've shared thus far. But let me use this opportunity to open the phone lines for those who are watching me across the states. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 070-686-53440. And of course, again, I apologize, we've changed our number. The number is showing on your screen right now, 090-412-79932. And of course, we're streaming live on Facebook, both on Silverbird platform and on RealTalkWithKike platform, so you can be part of this conversation. So, sir, Otuba, many thanks again, sir, for all that you've shared thus far. But let me quickly ask you this, because they will start running commentary in my ears that, we are running out of time. Ogun State, reported a 30% increase in hotel bookings during the 2023 OJUDE Oba. In your openings, you said that, 2 weeks before OJUDE Oba, the whole hotels are fully booked. What infrastructural upgrades, e.g. like transport, security, digital platforms, are being implemented to accommodate this projected, 100,000 attendees of 200,000 attendees, the numbers, since 2024 till date?
Well, first of all, I want to quickly correct something before. The regbe actually means age groups, age grades. That's what regbe means. Because people trying to ask me, what do you mean by regbe? It's age grades, and there are people with age brackets of 3 years, like for example, 1994. Then on the issue of the hotels, I can tell you that don't forget that OJUDE Oba is the like homecoming. I mean, that's the true Ileya festival. So the Ileya festival, 3 days after that is when you have OJUDE Oba. So people come in probably to take their leave, their place of work all over the world, and come in about a week, 2 weeks before the Ileya festival. But the hotels, I was surprised when a friend of mine called me from America and said, oh, I've actually booked one because I normally help him to book one of the hotels. He said, no, I went on the online and I booked it. I mean, they have the Naira value. But see, don't forget that organizations, hotels, most of these hospitality business, they've gone beyond. In Nigeria, give it to them. And even in Ijebu, all the conferences of this world, conference hotel, Grand Inn, different hotels, they are now online. So you can book online. They go to hotelbooking.com. So that one has been sorted out. But the issue of security, I know, I mean, I was so surprised because I was in Ijebu last Tuesday before the layer. Soldiers, police they were all around up to today. And the security situation in Ijebu improved tremendously. But having said that, there must be continuity. It must be sustained. It's not only for OJUDE Oba period alone. It must be all round. You can't say because of one festival you have a specific period. Yes, if we are putting in 100 police soldiers, then we can reach to 50. But the security situation must be maintained not only in Ijebu, not only in Ogun State alone, in the whole of the country, because security is very important. So, and it's the fallback. If the security in the country is not good, it will affect Ijebu, it will affect Ogun State, it will affect everywhere. So those are the areas that is very key, and the committee members, they were much aware of that, and they put it out into consideration. It's very key. And then creating the environment, the job environment for people, and like we spoke about what people made. I can tell you that if, let's say, an organization, let me put a typical hotel conference, maybe an average of monthly, they are making about 500, 1 million, 5 million. During this OJUDE Oba, they can be saying they are making 20 million naira. Because you can't even see any hotel. I had to be begging few friends to give their apartments to friends that were coming. They were now using this. Some people converted their homes to Airbnb. So it clearly shows that festival.
So quickly, sir, apologies. I have to interrupt your thought process. I'm trying to manage time right now, so I will appreciate if your submission can be a bit shorter. Sir, I understand how you've emphasized on how people are generating revenue due to this OJUDE Oba. And earlier you were talking about how you even sold your outfit for 150,000 naira. I know designers like Diola Sego have showcased our own brands and skills at OJUDE Oba. How can this festival now leverage its fashion prominence to launch maybe a textile trade fair or designer incubator program? We've mentioned Farouk stylish us back entry this year, where you were saying that he wanted to come in with the governor, and all his entry have sparked global interest, gathering over 5 billion views on TikTok in 48 hours. So my question to you right now quickly is that what does his viral moment says about this festival global appeal? How can such visibility be intentional to harness, the tourism and cultural diplomacy? And when you're saying that you're comparing and, trying to, what's it called now, collaborate, if you check the Eyo festival, as an Onweko like me, I have to bring Eyo in. The OJUDE Oba attracts fewer international, tourists. So what partnership now with travel agencies as well, with airlines like Air Peace and the likes, proposed Gateway International Airport, could change this with this OJUDE Oba? Quickly, sir, if it's possible in a minute or two.
Yes, a quick one. I will tell you, the governor, because of the prominence of OJUDE Oba and the awareness, you could see the Gateway International Airport, which has been, I was there a few weeks ago to receive, look at how the Gateway, the games that was hosted in Ogun State, it was a world-class one. The Gateway International Airport, if you drive on Shagam Road now, you see the way that lives there. So the most important thing is that the government is aware and they are focusing on how they can ensure that this creates more awareness, not only awareness, create jobs and give opportunities to everyone. Like you said about the designer, they will now start looking at, how can we take advantage of this? And they should come and set up industries in Ijebu. All those moribund industries, factories, Why can't we produce cotton? We have Aswani Industries. We used to have Shokas lace. I think they should now be able to bring them back and resuscitate those industries. I agree with you. Government should be able to probably use Bank of Industry or other industries to resuscitate all those and encourage sons and daughters of Ijebu to come and establish industries that will cater for Odujoba in the future. So I agree on that. And that is what we should be looking at now. Okay. And I believe the government too will do that. And areas where I can suggest, I will do that with my own influence.
All right, this will be my last question to you before I move to the last segment of the show, where I would love your contribution as well. Because, local artisans, reportedly earn up to 200 million during this festival, from sales of adire to gele and beads. There are plans to establish a permanent craft market or cooperative to sustain, this income year-round is one thing that I believe that I admire. But like you said earlier, it shouldn't be a one thing. It should be something that must be open all through the year. So the Ogun State government now that has allocated 150 million to cultural festivals in its 2024 budget. Sir, how much is marked for OJUDE Oba? What specific projects will it fund, if I may ask, e.g. museums, documentary? In this country, I still feel that we lack a good documentary that should speak about our country or individual states. Quickly, what do you have to say to this, sir?
Yes, a quick one. Luckily, we have resuscitated Ijebu Museum inside where they do the OJUDE Oba. They even encourage many people to go in there and see the museum free of charge. That is one. Then two, I remember when we were in government, we signed an MOU with, we did a partnership with Bank of Industry, 500 million, and we agreed to give loans to all our adire makers, artisans in Ogun State. And I can tell you, I know that a lot of associations, women, MSMEs benefited from this, and it's a single digit. And I'm happy to tell you that within 3 months, they paid back. Some of those people doing adire today, they were people that benefited from that loan. And even in Ijebu today, that's what they are doing. And don't forget, about 6,000 bags of rice and gari were distributed on that day. These are things that were done in Ijebu there because they get some funding. And what I would say, because I like this your question, that look, we should not rely on OJUDE Oba alone. After OJUDE Oba, what next? How will people benefit? How can we enhance and probably help our people to grow? And that is where government needs to come in. The loan is still there. They should encourage people to take that loan and government should channel it. Saying 150 million naira here for OJUDE Oba for culture. No, it should be something that should be sustained. It should be part of the budget, of the yearly budget for government, whereby a lot of money is channeled to people that will be able to service OJUDE Oba. Not OJUDE Oba, people indirectly, direct and indirect, people that are going to service the artisans, the adire makers, the tailors, the people that they can be able to, because I can tell you, some of them are limited. They may not be able to, if they tell them order for 100, they may not be able to do more than 60 or 70 because they don't have the funding. And those people are not giving them the funds. So if government can support them, all these people that are going to service it, they have funds available for them to service it. It will help. And I think that is my own suggestion.
For all your submission thus far. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this question, but let me quickly put this out there, because as a Lagosian, I have to balance this conversation. Because Lagos just launched its Festival City, initiative to boost, creative GDP. Should OJUDE Oba adopt a similar multi-day format with, side events like music concerts or tech expose, or would that just dilute its cultural essence? Quickly, in 30 seconds, what do you think about this?
Oh, well, let me tell you this. It was the likes of OJUDE Oba that made Wasiu, because Wasiu, all these concerts they are talking about, don't forget that Wasiu, Masha, is from Ijebu. It's likes of OJUDE Oba that all this, they have so many concerts. Immediately after OJUDE Oba, they entertain people in different places, Itoro Hall, and many areas like the stadium. No, they have that. That one is happening. The one you are seeing is just one that they covered. But the other side shows, which is very interesting. I can tell you that. People look forward to that place. They go and watch the show, musical concert here and there. They do that. And I want to correct you. You actually didn't originate from Lagos. It originated from Ogun State.
Probably that's going to be another debate for another day. I'm going to bring you on to that. But anyways, I want to say many thanks for all your submission thus far. But before I let you go, there's a last segment of the show that I call Trending Stories. These are stories that binds us as Nigerians, as Africans, and this is where I have an opinion as a host. And the first trending story that caught my attention is that of Pastor Paul's Adefaras's reaction to the content creator. You know, but quickly, I want to keep it real on this platform. That's why it's called Real Talk with Kike. I want to be real here. If Pastor Paul didn't wind down, if you ask me, we wouldn't have all this noise. Today, anyone can record videos. We live in a world where everyone is a content creator. Let's be real. An untrained reporter, and sometimes they don't even get the full story right. This has made it hard for people like us in our career path to see the truth clearly. So some people don't know where to stop or where to draw the line. So as a public figure, especially a pastor, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that he needs to be extremely wise or wiser in how he acts or you act and respond to all this attention and drama that comes with your position. Those who make videos or content without asking permission to should please be careful. We don't know what might trigger somebody's reaction. It's better to handle things calmly and respectfully. You know, at the end of the day, I want to say that pastor or not is human and can make errors. He could have chosen to just not wind down or wind down and just walk away. No one is perfect, you know. I'm just thinking aloud here. I also want to say that it must have been a very painful and stressful one for Pastor Paul to be falsely accused like this. But in Nigeria, you know, where security is a real concern for everyone, anyone, you know, can feel threatened quickly. We should try to understand the pressure that comes with public figures' faces, especially when they're trying to keep peace and safety for themselves and their families and their communities at large. Also, we should also remember that social media and viral videos, you know, can spread lies fast. So sometimes people only want to cause trouble and get views or traffic on their pages and money. So we must not believe everything we see online without checking the facts. Finally, is the fact that forgiveness and understanding should guide us instead of jumping to conclusions and dragging Pastor Paul Adefarasi. Let's try to hear both sides, give people room to explain themselves. I think that's all I have to say on this because I really want to take the second trending story. But sir, what's your take on this quickly, sir?
Let me tell you this. I understand, I mean, Pastor Paul is a man of God and I don't expect him to lie because he said he did not carry any weapon. I saw it on the Arise News a few days ago, I think yesterday. And I can tell you, look at what I'm holding. It's a glasses, my reading glasses. But if I hold it, somebody can tell me and say, oh, I'm holding a pistol. So, I mean, for him, maybe it was his glasses case or something like that. And he said, and we should take his word for it. Because integrity means when you are doing the right thing, when nobody's watching you. As a man of God, he has said it that he was not holding any weapon. And we should respect that. And he cannot stand on the pulpit and be saying that, and people still be doubting his integrity. That is where I fault Nigerians. He's a man of God, and he said it on the pulpit that he was not carrying any weapon. You see, people, I mean, I saw that, and I can't deduce whether it's a weapon. It may probably be something like this. And they may think it's gone. So I think we should respect him for that. And we should start allowing people their own privacy. I've been a victim of things like that. They will talk about you, and you say, are they talking about me or somebody else? You will start thinking that, is it me? Because you know that you didn't do what they said you did. So it's just, people just sit down and create stories just to sell money and to make money.
Right.
It has happened. I even just have to correct one of the editors recently that, look, what you just printed is not true. That I know what happened, I know the truth. They should go a step further and ask questions and find out the information before they start going to the media. All right, many thanks,
sir. Let me quickly touch on the second trending, you know, that caught my attention, which is that of the former first lady, Miriam Abacha, on Abacha's loot. I want to respond clearly to some things Mrs. Miriam Abacha have said while everyone is entitled to their opinions, you know, Nigerians have lived through the time of our late husband, General Sani Abacha, and saw what really transpired, you know, what happened. And I could understand if she's trying to, you know, protect her husband and all of that. But first, it's well known that the June 12, 1993 election was annulled. That's what is first of all important to me. And many credible voices, including those from that era, you know, confirmed the role played by different leaders, you know. To suggest that Abacha was too powerful or to have annulled it doesn't change the fact of what people witnessed, you know, is something that I'm just, you know, trying to just tell on my thought and say, Second is the fact that stories about the Abacha loots have been proven by investigations and court cases worldwide. It's not about tribalism and religion, but about accountability and justice for stolen public funds that affected millions of Nigerians. Thirdly is that while security was different then, you know, it's not true that there were no challenges. I like to use the word challenges instead of problems. You know, the method used under military rule were harsh and often violated human rights. But today's challenges are complex. But that doesn't mean past actions were entirely positive or should be defended without questions. When we talk about Abacha's loot, it's not just hearsay. Billions of dollars have been recovered from countries like US, you know, Switzerland, France, UK. These funds were stolen funds meant to support Nigeria's development and the well-being of its people. The fact that this money existed and had to be recovered shows that there was serious corruption, no matter how anyone tries to explain it. Transparency and accountability are very important, but they should not be used to deny clear facts or rewrite history. Hence the reason why I created a segment on this platform on this day in issue, what you want to be remembered for. Lastly, the fact that I want to elaborate on the annulment of this June 12 election. Many Nigerians remember how that event changed the course of the nation. It was one of the most significant moments in Nigeria's democratic journey, you know, and our husband's regime played a key role in stopping that process. The media's role is to report the truth as it is, not to please anyone. So we owe it to Nigerians to ask difficult questions, including how the money, how the recovered money was used, or if it was truly, if it truly benefited the country. These are conversations that Nigeria must keep having for a better future. We need to remember Nigeria's history. Honestly, learning both from the good and the bad, only then can we build a better future. Finally is the fact that I believe that respect and prayers for Nigerians are very important, but so is the truth and fairness, especially from, you know, those who present the history and legacy of our country's leadership, leaders as if we don't have some people alive that can actually, you know, come and tell us what exactly transpired. And now media is being dragged into it. Journalists are being dragged into it. I just feel that sometimes, in as much as I believe that there should be a of professionalism with everything we do, I just feel that what she has said is not something that she can easily do to rewrite history. But quickly, sir, in one minute, if you can, what's your take on this?
I will tell you this. It is a lesson for our leaders that tomorrow is bigger than today. Most leaders, they must be conscious that whenever, even the maximum you can spend in an office, probably 8 years, because 2 terms, whatever you do, let people remember you for good. Integrity, like I mentioned, is when you are doing the right thing, when nobody is watching you. Our leaders will uphold the highest level of integrity. It is clear that Abacha loots were whatever it is, and we should remember our children, our children's children, that whatever we do now, our future, we will remember for it. So my own advice is that we should do good for tomorrow. Whether she's coming out to defend it or not, it is clear that the funds that were repatriated were Abacha loots. It was there. And the role they played. Unfortunately, Abacha is not around now to defend himself about the role he played on June 12th. So unfortunately he's not around. I'm not going to dwell into that. But I will dwell into the one that I know, that the loot, it was traced to him. And so it clearly shows that whatever we do, let us remember tomorrow.
With all that you've shared thus far, advantage of other people. All right, thank you so much, sir, with all that you've shared thus far. Indeed, we had an interesting time costing you, our resourceful guest, Otuba Bimbo Ashiru. Many thanks for honoring my invite. Till I come your way on Thursday, remember to catch me live on Inspiration FM tomorrow, your drive time talk show on Real Talk with Kike. Bye now.